Hello and welcome to the chapter 3 Geography Water Resources. Water is so precious, it's so beautiful, it creates power, and when we don't use it properly, it can be destructive also. The physical attributes of water is found in three stages: solid, liquid and gases. We have studied from our primary classes. The hydrological cycle. The water is a cycle which is sent from the clouds to the earth and again back to the clouds through the process of evaporation, condensation, then precipitation. Precipitation, the rain falling in its different forms and then filling the water bodies in different forms like oceans, lakes, rivers, etc. Then the water vapor reaching the clouds and again coming back to the earth's surface. The oceans are the largest area and the volume of water. It contains more than 97% of Earth's water. The groundwater, which is beneath the Earth's surface, that is getting exhausted because we are using it excessively. The water from the rain which goes as the runoff enters the different water bodies, the lakes, rivers, streams and the wetlands, and it is available for different purposes, for agriculture and also drinking. The different uses of water: agricultural usage, thermoelectric, generation of electricity, for industrial usage, mining, domestic and also commercial trade purposes. Hydropower, it is also used for navigation, recreation and also it supports the ecosystem. Entire living organisms depend on water. There is a lot of stress on the supply of water. The demand is more but the availability is less. In states like Rajasthan, people walk around 6 kilometers to fetch a pot of water. The fresh water is shortage. So this is due to the growth of the population, the lack of access to clean water. Groundwater is getting depleted because we are greedy, we are exploiting the water resources and the water table is getting reduced. The climatic change also affects the global warming. Rivers and lakes are also shrinking, they are getting depleted. Once the water resources are in excess, they are to be stored properly. If in the water lying areas, that is a low lying areas, if we make the constructions and other industrial and manufacturing concerns in those areas, then the low lying areas will be washed away by the devastating floods. The destruction caused by the floods and the havoc created in the lives of the people is immense. Every year, the coastal regions are affected. So, floods can cause a major structural damage to the buildings, to the plants, animals. It can destroy the habitats at large. It can also destroy the ecosystem by washing away the nutrients of the soil. Floods cause many deaths and drown many plants, crops, even animals. Millions of people are affected and men, money, material, everything is affected. The nutrients of the topmost soil are also washed away. When there is a shortage of water, there is no rainfall. Lack of rainfall may lead to a situation called drought, and that results to famine. So lack of moisture for an extended period of time that causes deficient moisture in the soil, and this is because there is no rainfall. The deficiency degree is increasing over a period of time, and that affects the agriculture. So drought, unlike the floods, are not as destructive, but they are also distinct even. So it's the role of the government to store the food resources and make it available for at least 2 years for the people in case there is a delay in the monsoon and there is a failure of cultivation. So planning is essential. That planning can be done through the dam. A dam is a barrier that impounds water, and underground streams, dams generally serve the primary purpose of retaining the water. It just acts like an underground tank. The dam plays an essential role in the lives of the people. This is the image of the almost the first dam, the first century BC. Sringavira Pura near Allahabad had a sophisticated water harvesting system channel. The flood water near River Ganga was stored there and then utilized for different purposes. Another image, this shows the Grand Anicut Dam, the world's almost oldest dam. The Kalanai Dam at Tamil Nadu is built in the 2nd century BC by the great Cholas. Many evidences show in India that there was sophisticated irrigation system. Works have been done at Orissa, at AP, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra. Many such dams at Kalinga, Nagarjunakonda, Bennur, Kolhapur were constructed. This is the image of dam, a barrier across flowing water that obstructs, directs or retards the flow, often creating a reservoir, a lake or an impoundment which stores the water. Dam refers to the reservoir rather than the structure. Most dams have a section called spillway, or where over which or through which it is intended that water will flow either intermittently or continuously. Dams are classified based on their structure, intended purpose or height. Based on the structure, the materials which are used, the dams are classified as timber dams, embankment dams, or masonry dams with several subtypes. According to the height, dams can be categorized as large dams, major dams, alternatively as low dams, medium height dams, and high dams. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru called the dams as the temples for the country or modern India. When these temples are taken care of, then they will take care of the agricultural purposes and the nation's growth and prosperity. What are the positive impacts of the dam? The dams have tremendous potential for enormous upliftment, economic upliftment, and growth. They can be helping in checking the floods, famines. They are used to generate electricity, reduce the water, and power shortage also can be taken care of. It provides irrigation, the water supply for the low-lying regions. It provides drinking water in the remotest areas and provides even navigation fishery also. The negative impacts of the dam, most significantly environment gets affected of dams, results from which the displacement of human population. Wherever these constructions are made, several people, thousands of families get displaced. They have to evacuate the region and move out. The dams and the reservoirs change sediments deposits in the river. They settle on the bed of the river, and that causes danger for the aquatic animals. There can be a loss in the habitat for the living organisms. The soil erosion, declining in the water quality also can happen. The forests can be lost, flora and fauna can be affected. The fisheries are most prone to this kind of constructions. There can be silt getting accumulated, the parts of the sedimentation can occur, and this causes the reservoir's bed, which is affecting the aquatic animals. This kind of stagnation and water logging near the reservoirs also affects the environment. The effects of the dams on the forests and the tribal people is immense. This has induced so many people and also the environment that is prone to cause earthquake. There is growth of aquatic weeds that cannot be weeded out as easily. Reduce of water flow and silt deposition in the river. Flash floods can occur. Salt water intrusion can be there in the river mouth. Loss of land fertility along the river, since these sediments which are carrying the nutrients get deposited in the reservoir. They are not washed away, they settle there, and that is causing lot of wastage. This is the location of the multi-purpose projects in India, the major, medium, minor, the different multi-purpose projects spread out through the length and breadth of the country. The multi-purpose projects. The advantages of the multi, as the name itself signifies multi, one which can be used for so many purposes. One, generation of electricity. It is a cleaner source of energy. In the reservoirs, the water which is stored, it is providing to the farmers the water to irrigate their land. We cannot depend on rainfall. Indian monsoon is a gamble. Agriculture cannot play gamble with the monsoon. It can be delayed or it can come early. This has substantially increased the grain production. The availability of water from the dams has increased the grain production. Dams supply water for domestic and industrial users. Reservoirs in multi-purpose projects are used for inland navigation, recreational activities, fish breeding. Large dams control the flow of rivers and hence they prevent the floods. There are also disadvantages of these multipurpose dams. The excessive sedimentation at the bottom of the reservoir, that is resulting in the rockier stream beds and the poorer habitats of the aquatic life of the rivers. This kind of settlement leads to the loss of life for the aquatic flora and the fauna. This makes it difficult for the aquatic fauna to move from one place to another, especially for spawning, submerging of the existing vegetation and the soil, leading to its decomposition over a period of time. The social movements are also very noteworthy with regard to the construction of the dams. The dams were notably we can call the Narmada Bachao Andolan, which created sensation in the history of India, where thousands of people were evacuated. After tracing the history of the dam building, specifically the Sardar Sarovar Dam construction on the Narmada River, which traverses 3 states, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. This chapter analyzes the Narmada Bachao Andolan. The protest, the movement started in the 80s, Medha Patkar, Arundhati Rai, Baba Amte, many such great people, noteworthy people, who by creating awareness through a public interest litigation and taking care of the displaced people, asking justice for these people who were more than 41,000 families, over 2 lakh people in these 3 states who were directly affected by it. Over 56% of the people affected by the dam were the Adivasis. Due to many reasons, most importantly due to struggles of the people affected by the project under the banner Narmada Bachao Andolan, the project has admittedly the best ever resettlement and rehabilitation policy in India. Yes, it is the voice of the people, supported by so many social activists who struggled for the justice and they got. The activists, very renowned Sundarlal Bahuguna of the Chipko movement, the environmental activist, was also responsible for another great struggle, the Tehri Dam Andolan, and this movement in 1980 till 2004 created a protest and asked justice for the displaced people, the inhabitants, and the effect on the environmental degradation, the consequences on weakening the ecosystem. Also noteworthy is another dispute, the Krishna Godavari dispute. Why did this dispute occur? The Krishna Godavari dispute had arisen due to the objections raised by the Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh government. It is regarding the diversion of more water at Koyana by the Maharashtra government for a multi-purpose project. This would reduce the downstream flow in their states with adverse consequences of agriculture and industry. This is also, we can say, that one of the causes for the lift irrigation system started in the state of Telangana, which has made Telangana Haritaharam, we can say, or a green Telangana today, where there is no water scarcity but abundant water supply is available due to the planning of the mastermind Mr. KCR and its team of expert planners. This is an image of Kul. A Kul leads to a circular village tank as above in the Kaza village, from which water is released as and when required. This is one of the traditional method of rainwater harvesting. Of course, when we cannot extract the water from the underground, the rainwater which comes in so many millions tons of water, gallons of water, we can say, that water needs to be stored properly. So the rooftop rainwater harvesting is the most common practice in Shillong, Meghalaya. It is interesting because Cherrapunji and Mawsynram, we know Mawsynram is the wettest place receiving the highest amount of rainfall, approximately 1143 centimeters of rainfall in the world. It's situated at a distance of 55 kilometers from Shillong. It receives the highest amount of rainfall in the world. Yet the state capital Shillong faces acute shortage of water. Where is this water going? Why the water is not harvested? So the steps have been taken. Nearly every household in the city has a rooftop rainwater harvesting structure. Nearly 15 to 25% of the total water requirement for the household comes from the rooftop water harvesting system. It is also very interesting to note that the Tamil Nadu is the first state in India which has made rooftop rainwater harvesting structure compulsory to all the houses across the state. There are legal provisions to punish the defaulters. Any new construction which is going for registration, they need to show that what measures they have taken to harvest the rainwater. So the natural resource is being harvested. This is another image of the tankas of Rajasthan. The rooftop harvesting was common across the towns and villages of the Thar region. Rainwater that falls on the sloping roofs of the houses is taken through the pipe into an underground tanka, circular hole in the underground. This is built in the main house or in the courtyard. The picture above this shows the water being taken from a neighboring roof through a long pipe. Here, the neighbor's rooftop has been used for collection of rainwater. The picture shows a hole through which rainwater flows down into an underground tanka. The first spell of water is used to wash it, and then the tanka, the purest form of water, is collected there, and that supplies so many liters of water, thousands of liters of water for different purposes. We once again recap the uses of dam. It is used for irrigation, hydroelectricity generation, water supply for domestic and industrial uses. It controls the floods. It is used for recreation, entertainment. It is used for inland navigation within the country. It is used for fish breeding. In Rajasthan, this image shows the rooftop rainwater harvesting or collection that is used through PVC pipes. It's filtered using sand and bricks. Underground pipe takes water to the sump or the tank for immediate usage. Excess water from the sump is taken to the well. Water from the well recharges the underground tanks. Later, take water from the well. This is the very traditional construction of the tanka. Tankas were used, and it was usually constructed near religious centers and in villages for community usage due to the belief in the sanctity, the purity of water. It is the most precious, most purest. This preservation technique is an ancient practice dating way back to at least 1607 AD near Jodhpur. The water stored saves people from daily task of walking long distances. Approximately 6 kilometers they walk to fetch a pot of water from sources which are often contaminated. This storage of tankas is most pure. The long distance water may be contaminated. The water in a tanka is usually only used for drinking. It is in any year there were less than normal rainfall and household tankas do not get filled. Water would instead be obtained from nearby wells and tanks to fill the tankas. Not all the states and regions have the same availability of the water for all the places. This is a case study of drip irrigation through the bamboos in the Meghalaya state. The fresh water through the hill slopes is being collected through the bamboos and then utilized for different purposes, from irrigation to domestic purposes. So, water is not everywhere. So, it is the role of every individual to conserve the water, manage water very carefully, reducing agricultural water wastage by increasing the efficiency of irrigation system. We need to go for afforestation and protection of watersheds to improve the economy. Use water judiciously, any resource for that matter. Formation of artificial clouds so that a change can be brought in the atmosphere. Changes in the vegetation of a particular area so that even in the dry season, maximum amount of water can be stored. In addition to this, dams should be constructed to stop the drainage of rainwater. Rainwater should be harvested. It should be made compulsory in every state. We should learn and take inspiration from Tamil Nadu, should not give registration to all those new constructions which don't follow rainwater harvesting system. The control and the distribution of water by construction of big dams is very, very necessary. Desalinization of sea water and saline ground, that also can be reused again. Water has to be utilized from the underground very judiciously, otherwise the water table decreases. The glaciers which are melting can be used as a source of fresh water after purification. The regular desiltation of water bodies has to be done, and the water beds are to be taken care from excessive sedimentation being stored there. So this is a presentation done by my two students, G. Madhav and G. Ramcharan Gaud, and I am their teacher, Devalata Beku. I take my proud privilege to explain this chapter. Any errors in the typing and explanation, please forgive, and please give your textual comments and ask for more such videos. Whatever I can do to simplify the topic, I will definitely do. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I am coming up with the review